All right, everybody. Can y'all see me? I see I have Benny and Sebastian, Mr. Niz, excuse me. Just want to make sure y'all see me. Let me know if you can or cannot. Good. All right. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes for everybody to kind of to get in here, and then we'll get started. It won't take as much time as I allocated for this. I just wanted to kind of try something new, so we can kind of go over a couple of questions and things of that. If you have cameras on your devices, you should be able to add yourselves as far as so I can see you. So if you can do that, that would help me out as well. Sebastian, do you know how to go about doing that? I'll try. Let me see if I can figure it out, Sebastian. Let's see here. Hmm. Well, I thought I did. Let's see here. Well, Sebastian, I'm not seeing how to do it, so um, we might just have to use chat to do this initially. I'm assuming that you guys can see me. Can you see the business hangouts as well? The logo? What do you see on your screens? You see all four screens? Okay. So let me see here. This is the first time I've done this, guys. So excuse uh, my trying to feel my way through this. My apologies in advance. All right. So I guess what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and hopefully the next time I'll be able to add you guys. I thought by doing it this way, I would be able to see you guys, and we could have an actual verbal chat. Um, but this is not working like I thought it was going to work. So I will just kind of continue on. I wanted to kind of really go over some of the stuff that you guys have been viewing here in terms of the book. Unfortunately, I left my book on my Prairie View desk, but I was going to kind of go through and see what questions that you guys might have as to the class. It's difficult for me on this class because this class is a little bit more technical. And so I decided to try to have a mechanism in which we could have some level of face-to-face for an online class. So my hope is that if this doesn't work, we'll be able to figure out something else as it pertains to this class so that you guys can actually talk. The goal of this class is basically like an urban planning 101 class. So the reason that I wanted to kind of meet is if you get behind as far as what your ultimate goal will be, which is to basically do a small comprehensive plan. You can at the very end be very behind. And so I wanted to know, and I guess for right now, as we start this, if you have questions of some of the materials or about the class or about the potential project, if you've already read that, gone that far to read it, or just about some of the subject matter in chapter 1, 2, and 3. This was basically a mechanism for you guys to be able to ask me any questions that you might have. So with that, let's see if this button here. So with that, I think over to the right-hand side, if you have questions, you can share those with me as far as your chat is concerned, and then I can answer those. Otherwise, I'm gonna step through some of this. I'm not quite sure. I think Sebastian, you said that you can see all four of these boxes in front of me, or just me. Somebody let me know whether you can just see me or all four of the boxes. I see Brian and Sebastian are there. I don't know what happened to Benny. He might have gotten knocked off, but so let me know what you guys can see on your screens, because I want to be able to show you the right stuff. You can chat. You can chat it to me. You see all four. Okay. If I do this, do you see? You see my screen? I just clicked off to my computer. Can you see that, Sebastian? The community planning website. Once I click to that, do you see that? Are you able to see my computer screen? Somebody let me know if you can see my computer screen. When I switch to the website.
We still have to go out. We either have to go, I think we may have to go the other way. But there's like this thing that's
No. Okay. All right. Well, this is the wonderful thing about technology. You can see my computer screen. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate it for joining us. I was wondering if you guys could see when I switched to the community planning website. So if you're at your computers, bring up the community planning website, communityplanning.org is kind of what I want. I'm just going to click through these first three chapters and kind of highlight a couple things that I want you guys to be aware of. So if you'll let me know by chat once you get to that website, communityplanning.org. And I think I realized why I'm not seeing you guys. If you do have cameras, you actually have to have a Google Plus account set up. And so if you don't have a Google Plus account set up, then I won't be able to view you. So again, this is something new I'm trying this semester so that you guys can actually get to see me and see my wonderful personality before the end of the year when we do our thing. Okay, I see you, but there's a slight delay. I can see your computer screen. Okay. Gotcha. All right, Sebastian is in communityplanning.org. So for the rest of you, if you can go to communityplanning.org, that will be great. I just lost my chat. There we go. All right. All right. So a couple things. This community physical structures, what I wanted to do in this particular class, since I've taught it over time, is to be able to give you a certain sense of uh, urban planning 101. Now, I am not an urban planner. I'm a real estate broker and developer, but I have to deal with urban planners and planners all the time in what I do. In fact, right now I'm in my Sugarland real estate office doing this session with you. So there are certain things that concepts that you need to be aware of. And I think this book does a good job of stepping you through those concepts. What I wanted to let you guys know at the very beginning is that the ultimate goal of this class is to give you a basic sense of urban planning and how it affects um, our uh, how it affects our environment. Uh, the It's community planning book, Tiffany. It's community planning book, not just community planning. Here's the website right here. I just put it out in chat, communityplanningbook.org. So just click on that link, communityplanningbook.org. Um, so wanted to give you a sense of that. And so this community planning book is associated with a website. So if you're at the website, communityplanningbook.org, communityplanningbook.org, that is associated with the book. I'm hopeful by now that you do have the book. We're 3 weeks in, so my assumption is that you do have the book because you will need it to be able to complete the assignments and ultimately. But this companion website is where I get all of my assignments from. And as you will see throughout this, the table of contents is over to the right. Introduction, part 1, part 2, and part 3. So we won't get necessarily in this class, the scope of this class won't get us through all the parts, but I always try to pick books. This is one of the books that's recommended by the National Urban Planner. So I thought it was a good way to start our class. So with that, if you click on chapter 1, a couple of concepts I wanted to kind of just bring to your attention that you'll be tested on. This chapter 1 in the second edition is some overarching issues, sustainability, sprawl, and human health. And so hopefully you've been able to take a look and read chapter 1. They spend a lot of time on sprawl. And for those of you well, hopefully by now you know what sprawl is. Houston has huge examples of sprawl. The Spring area, if you're coming up 290, the Cypress area, and essentially you will be tested on kind of those concepts of a sprawl. One of the cool things that I found earlier, and I think let's see if I can find it again and give you the website here, was NASA took a look at Baltimore, for instance, and it showed Baltimore's development over a 100-year time frame, and it was so cool to see. And actually, that's not it. It was so cool to see just kind of what had happened over that period of time. And I may have lost it here. If you ever get a chance, go to supplemental resources under the exercises question for the chapter, and you'll be able to see that information. But one of the questions that I think is in the discussion online is kind of what is sprawl? And again, we have multiple examples of that in the Houston area. So my question to you is, this is not more so a lecture, but more so, do you have any questions as it pertains to chapter 1, sprawl, and some of the other things that that are brought up in that chapter? So I'm gonna give you a couple minutes here because again, I thought I would be able to talk to you face to face, but it looks like I'm not, to kind of type in any questions and I'll address them to the group over in the chat. So if you have any questions as it pertains to chapter 1, then please type those in the chat section. And I'll give you about a minute or so to do that. And right now I have 4 of you guys on: Benny, Sebastian, Tiffany, and Brian. So any questions? Guess I should have asked if y'all read chapter 1. All right, Tiffany, I see you don't have any. What about, I think I see Sebastian typing as well. I agree. I agree, Sebastian. Sebastian says a pretty straightforward chapter. So not going to spend too much time on it. On chapter 1, the questions are kind of self-explanatory. What I want to bring your attention to, though, if you're at the website and you go to chapter 1, as you get ready to do your projects, really pay attention to these supplemental resources at the bottom on the website, because they provide some really good tools and examples of some of the things that you will need to complete your project. So as we move to chapter 2, Introduction to Planning, again, this is Urban Planning 101 course. And so some of the things that are talked about in this class, for you architect majors or undergraduate architect majors, this stuff is probably old hand. In fact, for some of these deeper areas, you may know more than I do. But from a planning standpoint, as you know, cities should be and typically are planned. They provide some level of what they call a comprehensive plan that looks at all of their assets. And they have plans for land use. They have plans for mobility. They have plans for sustainability now. They started to add that to comprehensive plans. And so this chapter basically just goes over the beginning of that process and tries to give you some tools in order to look. So if, for example, you look at the examples section on the website, they give you a couple of comprehensive plans to review. I would highly, if you look at the Mercer County comprehensive plan, says click here to view county comprehensive plan update. If you go to that website, it gives you, now this is all the way back in 2006, but volume 1, volume 2 is the comprehensive plan. Volume 3 is the Mercer County long range transportation plan. Volume 4 is Mercer County greenways, open space, and outdoor recreation plan. And then volume 5 is a supporting study. So if you could imagine a thick book of literally this thick, then you know how big a comprehensive plan is. If, as a real estate broker, people are always saying, "Man, where's the next place? Where's the next spot? What's going on? Where should I invest now so that if I invest and I can buy it at one price and sell it years later for a lot?" And I always tell people, if you go to the City of Houston's website, which should be on your e-courses, their comprehensive plan, you can see mobility plans. And so, for instance, if you had paid attention to Metro's comprehensive plan / the city's comprehensive plan, you would have known where the new rail system is going. And so land, I was just there today, as a matter of fact, off of Griggs in 3rd Ward, land prices and building prices are shooting through the roof because these properties are right near the Metro. So if you ever want to do real estate investing or find out what's going on in the city, find that city's comprehensive plan. And typically every 3 to 5 years, they update it. It just depends on how big the city is and what they have going on. So, that's a really good, now that's not a local example again, but I think it was provided because it was a relatively easier and accessible. If you ever really want to find out where the growth in the city is going, look at a city's comprehensive plan as it pertains to transportation. Transportation plans, if you have mobility, that transportation is one of the few places where if you build it, they will come eventually. All right, so 290, widening of 290, as you guys go back and forth to Prairie View's campus, you can see that little by little over the years, depending on how long you've been going up in 290, there's expansion going towards Prairie View to the point where one day I really do feel that Prairie View will be a suburb. I remember when Katy was just like a little island and there was nothing between Katy and Houston, and now it's booming. That energy corridor along I-10 up to 290 and really up to 249 is booming. So if you follow transportation trends, that's one of the ways to try to determine population growth and things of that nature. So chapter 2 goes into kind of the basics of a comprehensive plan, and then provides a lot of resources. I mean, this is really good stuff. And the reason why it's important for you, depending on what your goals are in community development, to understand comprehensive planning is as a community developer or as a business owner, for those of you that have entrepreneurial needs, or as a executive director of a nonprofit, if you understand what the city is doing and what the county is doing, and whatever the governmental entity is, then it's much easier for instance, for you to make business decisions or you to raise money. And a lot of us tend to think day to day. I'm trying to do my business day to day, and we don't look at future plans. And again, if you had, as another example, you had paid attention to Metro's rail lines when they first released them, even though they were still kind of debating, and started to invest and do things in those communities, you'd be surprised what level of resources are available to you. So any questions for chapter 2? Any questions for chapter 2? I'll give you guys a second to type those questions over in the chat area, or any questions in general. Benny must have a bad connection. He keeps dropping off and coming back on. All right. No questions. All right. So chapter 3, I think I already had it up. Again, the introduction to a comprehensive plan. Chapter 2 was introduction to planning. Chapter 3 is introduction to comprehensive plan, and you have a link there to one of the counties in Florida comprehensive plan. So again, kind of this first couple of chapters are just real basic, kind of providing a history of comprehensive planning and why we do it. Does anybody have an example of bad planning? I think there are a couple examples in Houston that you could probably say that wasn't the greatest planning. For instance, the Astrodome area, and now having that big albatross Astrodome and not thinking of future things. So, that's not the greatest of planning efforts as well, but they're trying to make do. So again, your delivery for this semester will be a mini comprehensive plan. You will choose an area as described in the project, and you will be doing a mini comprehensive plan, which is basically a research paper. So you'll be studying an area, analyzing that area, providing a history of that area, and then I think I have you doing 3 or 4 sections of a comprehensive plan for that particular area. So I really want you to dive into that early. In the years past, I can tell folks that started working on it early versus folks that started, the night before it was due, and I graded accordingly. So this is something that you guys can start working on now. So any questions? So that's really my kind of overview of the first 3 chapters. Real basic. Is nothing. Even if we were having face-to-face class, those first 3 chapters are kind of just basic information. I guess my question to you guys is, any questions about the class in general, assignments, just anything in general before I let you guys go? I see Tiffany and Sebastian typing, so I'll wait. All right. Thank you, Sebastian. I see Tiffany typing, so I'll wait for her. Send me the syllabus I have. Classes in the same syllabus uploaded for both courses, so I was confused as which books to order. I'll have to check that. Let me see here. I will log on right now and check that. Everybody else on here have the correct syllabus? Because you're the first one to let me know about that, Tiffany. So you got that syllabus. Let's see here. Hi. You know what? Let's see if I do something. You are right. Well, that's not good. Why is that? Tiffany, you are correct. So for some reason, I didn't get your email, Tiffany, but you are correct. So I am going to correct that right now. And you're the first. I'm wondering if you're the only one that's downloaded the syllabus, because you're the first person to tell me that. So let me delete this one, and I will add the correct one real quick. So I'm hoping everybody got the right book, because that wouldn't be a good thing either. So I'm uploading the correct syllabus. So I'm glad I had this tonight, because otherwise I wouldn't have known that. And somebody just give me I think somebody just chatted with me, but let me upload this real quick first. All right. All right, so that is, now it is correct. And who said, let's see here. All right, so Tiffany, if you go in the e-courses now and download the syllabus, it's the correct one. I just corrected that on the fly. So I won't email it to you, but go ahead and download it in e-course. Okay. Okay. here. Yeah, I don't trust Tiffany that oh, look for class, Sebastian. Yeah, Sebastian, you emailed me, so I got Sebastian's email. I didn't get yours. Yeah, that's fine. I will send out an email real quick, letting everyone know if you're taking the leadership. I mean, one of the courses we offer is leadership, so that book will be used as well. So I hate to, unless they want to try to send it back, but I'll send it out as well. Oh, okay, okay, good, good. I'll send that email out to everyone. Thank you for uh, telling me that. And Sebastian, I got your email, but for whatever reason, um, yeah, it came in on the 27th, but I'm just seeing notice of it now. I don't trust, so I'm glad we're having this. I don't trust the email for inside of e-courses because of that. And so if you need to email me at the kvriles at pvamu.edu because I get those on my phone. And for most of you that have, I typically respond, as soon as I can, or if not, right after you send it. So I monitor that one. So if you need to send me an email outside of the e-course system because I don't always get them with e-courses. Remember, Moodle is free, so sometimes it acts like it's free. Moodle is the software that we have e-courses on top of. So I see Benny typing, so I'm and Sebastian. Oh yeah, Benny, I did. That's correct. I did send the correct email, the correct one via email. I just uploaded the wrong one to eCourse. So yes, thank you for letting me know. You're good, Sebastian. It happens every semester. I don't know. So let me let you guys know when you're doing your chats between each other, as far as like the questions I ask you, when you guys chat, I get those via my email and Prairie View. So when you guys are replying back to each other, I'm constantly monitoring the chat. So, for instance, when you guys talked about your communities and where you're from and introduced yourselves, that gets sent to me via email, via regular email. And so I'm able to monitor. And then as you notice, I typically log on twice a week. And sometimes I kind of play Big Brother and I don't say anything, or sometimes I'll come back on and email you or reply back to you. So I'm on at least 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And so I do get those emails. But if you need to email me individually, for instance, I had a student email me tonight saying that they're going to be late with an assignment. They emailed me directly on the kvriles at pvamu.edu. So just to let you know. So we're good. Any other questions, guys? Well, I thought this was going to work out where I'd be able to see you and we'd have a conversation. So I might try Skype next time, but I'm trying to make this a little bit more interactive. I think if we do this more often, it makes an online class a little bit better. So you guys, even though you weren't able to talk to me face to face, what do you think about this format having kind of consistent, maybe every couple of weeks, opportunity to kind of sit down and talk? So give me some feedback on this via chat. And what I also plan to do while you guys are typing is once I figure this out, I'm gonna start having, hopefully towards the end of the semester, I'll have a couple of guest speakers via online, so you guys can log in and participate. I have the planning, one of the planning directors at the City of Houston scheduled up. I just got to get on her calendar. All right, thanks, Tiffany. I'll see you tomorrow too. And I think I have one more question before you log out. Sebastian's typing. And by the way, this is actually taping. So my idea was to do this and then put it up for you guys to be able to go back and reference if there were any questions. So I might try that as well. How do you think we are doing on chats? I feel as the only problem is people posting late Saturdays and Sundays. It's hard for me to log on to those days, but I will try. The online chatting is a great idea. We should try GoToMeeting. Well, the reason we're not trying GoToMeeting, Sebastian, is because Prairie View won't pay for that. I use it in my business, and Prairie View has more money than I do, even though I feel like I do all right. So I like GoToMeeting as well. It's much easier to use. So I've been trying to look for inexpensive ways to do the same thing, and that's why I tried this Business Hangouts because it's free basically for under 10 viewers. So as far as the chats, I agree with you. People kind of wait till the last minute right before the deadline of the chat and kind of hurry up and I think what I'm gonna have to start doing is kind of reminding them, and then also everybody likes to reply back. Oh, I like what you said, Sebastian. I feel the same way, and it's really not a chat; it's just an agreeing. And so I have issue with that as well. I'm really wanting people to. Now, some of you are. I know you're an active participant in another class. Ken does a good job of really actually trying to have a discussion, but a lot of people are just kind of logging on to agree. Yeah, well, tell them that. Tell Dean Zaboni, let me use my pro card to join GoToMeeting, because I think that would be great. Now, supposedly, the Office of Distance Learning has a very similar technology, but nobody knows how to use it that I know of, and so I've been trying to get that. I'm a former IT guy, so I'm relatively technical. So we'll see what happens, but I agree as far as that's concerned. So. We'll keep trying, and I'll try to make some adjustments as far as the chats are concerned. Maybe some interim deadlines or something of that nature to get people to do that a little bit better. So thank you for the suggestion, though. All right. If you guys don't have any other questions, man, I appreciate you logging on. Tried to do this. Give me some feedback later. You don't have to do now as to the time. I thought about trying to do this on a Saturday morning, before everybody gets going. I was going to call it cup of coffee with the professor, but I figured Saturday morning would be detrimental. So we will see what happens. But if you guys don't have any more questions, I am done. And I will see you the next time we do this, and make sure that I get out the correct syllabus. So I'm going to stay on for another minute or two just in case you have some follow-up questions. But if not, you guys are free to log off. I'll see you later.